Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Elathrix, and of course, welcome to what is probably a decently quick video outside of the campaign. Today, we're going to be building an ocean crawler. This is something I've never really built before, so I do find it really interesting. I love the concept of them, but since I've never really built one, I thought I may as well do it on camera, and let's see if we can get something functioning, and just how cheesy they can possibly be. So as the name suggests, the whole point of this is something which goes all the way to the very bottom of the ocean and simply crawls along, and thus is very cheap because it doesn't need all that much propulsion and stays very far away from enemy detections. And because of this, it could be potentially very small. This could be a swarm craft, or it could be absolutely huge and drown things by sending out harpoons. But today, I just want to make sure that the whole concept actually works in-game, and that we can reliably deploy them. Normally, this is the type of thing I would do off-camera, but since it's, again, something very new to me, I thought I may as well record it, and hopefully, it's something people are interested in. Tell me if it is. I'm always curious about what I should record and what I shouldn't. So, I'm going to slowly drown this piece of lead, and then we're going to see if we can get this thing even moving. Yeah, since you can't always spawn things underwater in the campaign, in fact I don't think you can spawn it in minus. Actually, maybe you can, I can't remember. Either way, yeah, definitely gonna add some kind of proper gliding engine, so if it's above a certain altitude, it'll just force it way faster to the ground, because that took way too long, even with this admittedly non-powered fan. Drowning takes a long time in this game. Okay, so here we are at the bottom of the ocean. What I'm going to do really quickly is just put down this really simple engine. This is one of the prefab engines, absolutely nothing unique there. I've literally just placed it, making sure we're immortal because we're going to have a lot of impact with the terrain here, at least to begin with. Of course, I'll turn that off for our proper testing later. I don't even know if building this with lead is going to be worth it, especially if we do have internal fans and the like. Don't really know. I mean, it does have the least buoyancy, but I have also noticed the buoyancy doesn't really matter too much for how fast you descend, more just if you will or won't. I think I could be wrong there. In fact, there's an easy way to test this. What we're gonna do is have a metal block here and a metal block there, turn off the mirror mode, then we're gonna have this piece of wood with a relative buoyancy of plus 27, and one on the other side with lightweight, which is plus 32. Which means one should float faster than the other if buoyancy really matters. Whoa, okay! Haha! At least when it comes to moving upwards, yeah, buoyancy matters. Who would have thought? So yeah, lightweight alloy has thrown itself at the seagulls. Wood has as well, to be fair. Okay, good to know. So maybe building of lead is important, but I don't really know about how fast they sink. Either way, let's continue. Okay, so first things first, let's just see if we can even move this thing. Let's just go with the small wheels for now, since I know how they kind of function. So regular wheels, and then turning wheels. Oh, actually no, if we go with regular wheels, I think I can make them all tank control, right? Spread to neighbours. So all of you are now on tank wheel, okay, same with you then. Ignore the thing bouncing in the background, that's actually me. And I've just gave it the order to move over to there. Let's see what happens when it eventually... Yeah, okay, I'll add balancing stuff in a second. That's clearly the thing I need to add, first of all. I mean, considering I haven't done anything with this thing other than put down wheels, yeah, that's moving.
Listening, moving out.
Okay, got there. Pull it turn. Move to the next spot. Yes, it will. Lovely. Okay, just basic, tank controls there, lovely. So all we've got this is maneuver, just the default ship or tank, and behaviours is just point at. Absolutely nothing unique just yet. So already this has a lot of promise, but we need it to be able to stick to the bottom a lot better than this. Really shows how long it's been since I've actually built anything made for land. Yeah, there's so many new wheel options, and there's the tracks and everything else. It's kind of mad, actually. There we go. I know you can just do that automatically, but every time I just tried a second ago, I ended up connecting every last wheel together, so just to be safe, we're going to do this very methodically. And there we are. So we have tracks, which look really cool, I have to say. Also currently using the smaller wheels. The bigger wheels I tried, and it kind of just threw me into the water because they're a bit too strong. That does also mean they're a bit faster, though. Okay, might need to go for the larger wheels for a proper build. For now, we're sticking with the boring small wheels. So I may have grossly overestimated how much engine power this thing needs. It needs almost none. The wheels are incredibly cheap. It is also incredibly slow. I wonder how well it would deal with extra propulsion. Okay, it does actually stack with the wheels pretty well. That is really good to know, because that makes it really simple to increase the speed of this thing. Either adding propellers or adding some internal blades, and I think we've just reached our next spot. Okay, so we're going to add some more balance to this thing, and then see if we can make it over some really tough terrain. At the moment, this is just nice and flat. So it occurs to me there are two major ways I want to use this vehicle today. Well, at least one of them, but these are the two ways I'm thinking of. The first way is simply these, the mines. You go underneath the target, and then you release a swarm of mines at them, and mines are very, very interesting because you can get a lot of warheads per missile, because the only active part to actually get to the target is the magnet itself. And as long as you add lots and lots of ejector add-ons, they should reach the surface fast enough that it doesn't really matter what size missile you use, they should be able to make it. Yeah, look how fast they're moving, and they are about to breach the surface now. In fact, that was actually a little bit faster than I expected, so I'm very happy with that. The second way is this. So this is going to be very cheesy, but this is a sub-object, a spin block on another sub-object, another spin block. The secondary sub-object does not care about collision on the craft, meaning you can build this really weirdly, but how I want to build it is a turret on the craft, making it look maybe a bit more like a tank, which aims at the target directly, and then fires proper torpedoes. That way, it won't need much fuel, if any really. We could potentially have them as just thrown mines, but it will enable us to have some more range. The main problem with the magnets, of course, is you will have to get directly underneath the target for this really to work. I am leaning more towards the sub-object idea because I think it would look silly. Also, I've scaled down the engine massively. Still not my engine, it's just a prefab. I've literally just cut it in half. Clearly, Lathix has no idea what he's doing, as usual, but okay, that's fine for now. Raise it one more, we can have the ammo and stuff in the back, there's plenty of space to arm that up, and I'm going to be completely dismantling this engine. I'll just build a custom small engine, it's absolutely fine. Turns out we don't need anywhere near as much power as I expected. Just need a little bit for balance. Again, I'm not sure if I can spawn this thing on the bottom of the ocean every single time, or at all, so I do want a small internal blade, which is motor-driven, and then just some really basic balancing stuff, so generic PID stuff, just with a couple of propellers to make sure this thing doesn't roll or pitch as it descends into the ocean. Just gonna add the most basic of basic PIDs right now, so roll attached to roll, pitch attached to pitch. That'll be that for now, because I've just spawned in, and we've spawned in near the surface of the water, and as you can see, we are not exactly the correct way up. Once again, just going with the basic stuff, let's just add a couple of these. You are roll, you are roll. I'll buy decoration to block you in a second, and then on the front, you will be pitch. Oh, there we go. Yep, instantly straighten us out. And if you want it to stop waving around and everything, then you start messing around with the PID settings themselves. But again, this is a rush build. You may also notice I've added missiles. Now that the balance thrusters are on, things are looking really good. Again, this thing is just not being stopped by terrain, so I was actually pleasantly surprised by that. So now to do a quick test of our weapons. Oh no, the Jacob's Folly has appeared, something which is actually like 4 times more expensive than this. Yep, so straight away we fired. We are aiming at the target, though the first one fired a little bit too soon, so it wasn't aiming directly at it, so it's a bit less fuel efficient. I just need to add like a 1 second delay to the system, that's fine. Though actually, didn't really matter too much. Maybe don't even have to do that. Did one just jump over it? Yep, one just jumped over the target, but there we go, 200,000 damage. Just opened up the bottom side of the thing completely. The enemy has torpedoes, which apparently can't target us, which is interesting. Bit odd. And of course we can aim straight up, that's so weird. I'd probably add some firing restraints, even if I did go with the cheesy turret, because that just looks silly. Wow. For something which is only costing us like 10k, that is actually a brutal bit of burst damage. Thing is though, it's so cheap, would I even add the little distraction sticks? Oh no, I've lost a 10k craft. That's like losing a weapon. So if this thing dies, I don't really care too much. It's just using its natural, I'm on the bottom of the ocean as a defense. I think it depends on the size of the thing. If I made it like twice the size and more weapons, then I'll definitely add some munition defense versus enemy torpedoes. As it is, I might just leave it. I've got to be honest, because it starts to become not worth the extra cost. Don't know. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Either way, I'm going to speed up time a little bit here. I want to get close to land, because I want to see if I can actually crawl onto land. Now approaching an island. Let's see if we can make this a true all-terrain vehicle. I mean, we should do. I can't really see what would stop us. There we go. The thing has now reached land and is actually pretty quick. Way faster than I expected. Why are you so zippy on land? Sure. Absolutely sure. It's just following some weird waypoints. I just put waypoints all over the place, so I expect it to be turning constantly. But there we go. It can go from water to land nice and easily, although it's a bit slippy on land. I think perhaps the friction is a bit too high or something. Yep, they've already reached the waypoint. Let's go back to the ocean, shall we? Why do you keep on wanting to skid? Still works though. So if we had, any normal weapons, we could go onto land and fight there as well. Of course, right now all we have is torpedoes, which would be absolutely useless. Oh my god, first person here is terrifying. Also, not in God mode, not taking damage. As soon as I say that, we take damage. Of course, our first bit of damage would be on land. There we go, back into the depths. Next step, I've just added a blade to the center of the craft, which is forcing the craft down. So now it is sinking a little bit faster. Not as fast as I'd expect though. Why is it so difficult to get things to drown in this game sometimes? Aw, it's almost majestic. It's kind of cute. Also, that shadow glitch is getting on my nerves, so I'll be restarting the game in just a moment. And touchdown, I shouldn't really take any damage. I don't think we're going to take any extra damage afterwards. Yep, that's fine. We can always add rubber if we do run into that. The blade currently is permanently on. It's very easy to set up, so it will only turn on when we're not directly on the ground. But for now, it's just kind of gluing us there, which is fine as long as it doesn't affect our speed, which doesn't seem to be. Though it is consuming fuel, so it's making the whole thing more expensive. So yeah, I'll have it set up so it's only on at certain times. I'm really happy with this thing. It's just all worked out every time I've tried anything, which is very rare for me. Okay, that just slowed down, but it's not quite set up correctly. So all I'm doing is this. Propulsion vertical, altitude above terrain, set fake point to 0. If I set it to like 3, that should turn it off now. Essentially, it's always trying to keep us 3 meters above the ground, which is about where we are, according to the game right now. So that is exactly what I wanted to see. Which means we're no longer using loads and loads of energy, now we're actually on the ground. Could have it a little bit lower, so it's always trying to push us down a little bit. Note that random guess seemed to be pretty correct, actually. Okay, yeah, so that is that for pretty much all of our balance. There is very little else to do. Now, I do have a side project I was working on the other day, which I will showcase quickly by the end of this, because I found it interesting, and I may have had a little bit of rum at the time. But this is pretty much it. This is a proof of concept sea crawler, or whatever I'm actually going to end up calling it. I think these things are going to be very cheesy and honestly very, very deadly. They're going to be super cheap if I want them to be, but you can easily build a more expensive version. I would definitely change how that works. Wait a second, have I built... Okay, part of the turret I did accidentally build as part of the hull. Good to know. What are these torpedoes they're firing? Yeah, balance. is the last thing I normally work on, so obviously it being a little bit imbalanced is not like a surprise. I think that could be the fans actually forcing us a little bit off the ground. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that. And the enemy is dead. The core is gone. Little nightmare tank. Okay, so let's showcase something a little bit more evil. As you can see, this is the Iron Cordon. And it's gone. Essentially, these are meant to be like mines. They stick to the very bottom of the ocean. They have an incredible amount of backwards force for their size and their cost, and they just grab things using these EMP harpoons and drag them down to the bottom of the ocean, where they're then classed as too low, and they will eventually self-destruct. That's it. I can barely remember making them. And there you go, the enemy's now killed. I call them drown mines. And the Iron Cordon is something which is actually very difficult to drown, that's why I chose it, and against smaller targets, they just go straight to the bottom. Now, of course, right now, these are just exposed components, and was once again a proof of concept. I do a lot of random testing in the background. That's why I think I do need to start making more videos like this, or just showcase my ideas, my concepts, and get some feedback on them, because it's a lot of fun to showcase. So what's a bit worse at trying to stay above the water? Let's go with sort of deep water guard, even though they're all made of wood. Let's go with the plunderer, just 'cause it's smaller. Well, actually, because it's made of wood, it's actually significantly more difficult, who would have thought? But there we go, the plunderer going down to the depths. Now, a finalized version of this would likely have a shell on top, and lots of rams and such, and would actually bring them all the way into melee range. At the moment, they're meant to try and stop about there. It's an odd sight, admittedly. It's like it's being held in stasis. Again, need a shell, need some kind of finishing move. The fact that it's actually killing them by drowning, though, it makes my sadist side very, very pleased. Not that I have one, of course, I'm a good guy and nice all round. That must hurt so much. That's more like it. Look at the speed that thing's descending. I think I'd call this like the amoeba or something. Name suggestions very welcome. Oh, these ones aren't the EMP versions. Yeah, the originals did actually use some EMP warheads as well, which turned off some of their fans and everything so they couldn't struggle as much, essentially paralyzing the poor thing as it drowned. So with that, I am going to have to call the episode here. This was just a little extra video because this week has been honestly horrendous, similar to the last few weeks. Lots of stuff going on in real life right now I'm trying to sort out constantly, and I just wanted to have a bit of fun and make an extra video so there's something for everyone to watch. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I have had a lot of fun today, even if not quite as much time as I would like. The next campaign video should hopefully be out in the next few days after this video. At least that's the current plan. So with that, if you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, where are you going? Shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. And of course, it had to end with me being very, very confused about something. Maybe I should build one of these properly in the campaign. I feel like the Onyx Watch is the perfect target for this. No subs. Lots of heavy metal. Large hulls, which is fun to see just wrapped like this. Okay, I'm gonna have to go now, otherwise I'll be watching this for way too long and just summoning in every type of ship. Thank you, and goodbye. very quick note, even though I just said goodbye, these things cost currently 20,000. I'm thinking about 50,000 once they're fully armored up and everything else. Yep, bye!